it's Champions League knockouts time, and to be completely honest with you, we could have had a much worse draw. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 15 of Club 4 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager, which is still Football Manager 2024, not that I'm bitter. My name is Stu, thank you for joining me in today's video, where we are going to be playing in the second leg of the Champions League round of 16, and hoping that we win that, we'll go and play the second leg of the quarter-final, so there'll be a bit of a chunk of football in the middle. We'll see how that goes. But if you are excited to see whether we can make it through, not just through the quarter-final of the Champions League, getting ahead of himself, through the round of 16 of the Champions League, and then hopefully through the quarter-final of the Champions League, because it's going to be all Champions League today, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video. And if you want to continue to see me stuff up, don't forget to subscribe, because you'll be able to see that on the regular. So, since you're last with me, how have we done? We've got a very good team here. Everything's great. There's nothing really to report that's kind of crazy. This has been the run. I mean, we haven't lost a game since Everton. We haven't dropped points or had any kind of draw since Everton. It's been pretty magnificent. I'm not going to say that Daniel Pitchford is solved, but he has been scoring an awful lot of goals, although he hasn't scored in his last 3. So maybe we need to look into that. Last 4 even. Maybe we need to have a look into that. But to be fair, it's these 2 games here he did very, very well in. And then he scored in that one. Then he scored in that one. To be fair, it has been a good run. I think we overplayed him a little bit because Conrado Villalba did get an injury. So we've had to rely on Pitchford a bit more. And Tell hasn't really been the same since his injury. And Martinelli is Martinelli. He does what he wants. So Miran Yavuz has actually ended up being our backup striker recently. Bearing in mind, I've converted him first of all to an attacking midfielder, second of all to a central midfielder. So he doesn't know what direction he's going in. But we're doing all right. Now, Benfica, first leg. How did that go? Well, looks like a really even game, right? It was, because that entire first half, we were awful. We genuinely could not get anything going. This is all second half. We were 1-1 with an own goal, with 0 shots on target, 0 shots made. It was not good. So we went a little bit drastic in the second half, and we actually messed with the formation quite a bit. So we actually used several formations. The first formation I moved to was a 4-2-3-1 narrow, the Wolves formation, the one that we used when we had originally got David, Shokwist and Fernandez as that attacking midfield 3. If you don't know, go back and watch the Wolves part of the save. And that started to break them down and did end up getting us our first goal, but then we conceded another one, and then we got a very, very quick one after, and we got that quick one because I then moved to a 4-2-3-1 wide. The wide players, Raul Iglesias on the right, Noah Darvic on the left, and we ended up with Michael Shokwist in the central attacking midfield role getting a goal. Our central midfielders were Armstrong and Gavi as a 2. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be at Arsenal for a 3rd season, but if I am at Arsenal for a 3rd season, I think that's the midfield pair that I would choose. And I think we would. I know I started the season with a 4-2-3-1 and immediately reneged on it and went back to the 4-3-3. I think if I was going to go back to the 4-2-3-1 on the permanence, I can't do it now because I don't have the central midfield or central defensive midfield personnel to do it. But I'd do that, and then I'd have that attacking midfield 3 or wide midfield 3. The problem with that is it doesn't get all of our boys into the squad, which brings me to the starting 11 in a moment. However, just to confirm, Premier League table's looking like this. We won the Carabao Cup, by the way. This time last season, I forgot to tell you about that. We have won the Carabao Cup, actually. That is in these fixtures. Middlesbrough there. Just a nondescript 2-0 win. I'll take it, it's fine. We're also through to the FA Cup quarter-final, which is against Newcastle. Just a bit of an aside there. But Premier League, that is what it's looking like. Because of the Carabao Cup win, we're already in the Conference League. We've scored 97 goals, conceded 19. We have the best goal record for and against in the entire league. We've been phenomenal. We're well worth it this season, and we're so many points ahead of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are second place, and I'm very happy about that. And that's how everything is looking on this end. Saka is chasing Haaland. He's the best player in the league. He's not too bad. He's a few goals off the assists. But also Aduro, I'm really glad we didn't replace him because he's turned out to be the best goalkeeper in the league, which is great. Right, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the main event. Let's get to the game in hand. It is Benfica. Again, not the worst draw we could have had. And this is the 11. There's one experimental part, but I want to give it a go. So it's Awusa-Oduro in goal, Tokic, Satano, Colwell and Harto in defence, Armstrong, Shockquist and Paniagua in the middle. Saka's going to be on the right, Darvic is going to be on the left, because I want to get Shockquist, Paniagua and Darvic into the squad. Darvic is the only one who has any ability to play anywhere other than in the middle of the park. So we're going to do that. It's the only way we can do it without either Paniagua or Shockquist being a defensive midfielder, and really it's a waste of their talents. And then we've got Pitchford up front. I did toy around with the idea of Martinelli starting. He had a good game last time, but I just trust Pitchford a little bit more as a striker, so we're going to go with that and we'll just see what happens. We obviously did have to mess around with the formation against Benfica in the last game, who are managed, by the way, by Gareth Southgate in this universe. Who knew, right? Look, there he is. There he is there. Gareth Southgate. Who'd have thought it? We had to mess around with the formation. We'll keep an eye on things to see whether we need to do that. This time, I did try and rotate as much as possible for the West Ham game that was in between this game and the first leg. So we're hoping that the squad is a little bit fresher than maybe it was for the first leg. I'm not using that as an excuse for why we struggled so much, because we ended up managing to get through it in the end with a win. I mean, I'd have been, with the way the first half went, I'd have been happy with a draw in that game. I was delighted when we went away with a win. But let's see what we can do at our place, at the Emirates. Let's see whether we can just settle this, get a couple of goals early and just get through it and get the win. Although, at the moment, Benfica, I tell you what, they're a bit possession mad in this first 10 minutes, aren't they? I think it was in the 70s. So it looks like we're struggling with them again. So we might just have to change the formation again, because it looks like they are just all over us. Although Harto has done a good job there. I'm also toying as well. We need to... Literally, what is that? What even is that? Straight away, they go and score. Right, I'm going to encourage the boys. Let's not panic yet. It's level on aggregate. But, you know, we're at home. We rested a lot of you in the last game. I kind of want to see the benefit of that, please, boys. Saka's gone a little bit anonymous in the last couple of games, but he's in such good form in general that I can't really do too much about it. Obviously, Darvic is playing a bit out of position today. It's a position he can play in. So I want to see him actually turn up in that position. But there's Saka again. Just not a great performance from him today. So... I mean, we don't have to do anything about it because it's one game, and it doesn't happen very often. It's every game here or there that it happens. Right, Darvic is in the box, tries to get it to Pitchford, can't quite get it. Harto's going to win that header though. The benefit of playing a left back, or playing at left back a central defender, is that a left back is going to be better in the air probably than a normal left back or left winger. So he's going to win those aerial battles. Satalo on 6.2. We're going to have to bring him off. The point I was going to make before Satalo made that absolute clanger, Darvic set him with a throw there, which is a bit unusual, is that I'm actually toying with the idea of, I don't know whether Tokic can do this, but we've got Laskowski who can play as a right back. We've got Harto who can play as a left back. If we play both of them as inverted fullbacks, we could have a central defender who could step up into the midfield. If we stick with the 4 at the back, with the 3 in midfield, sorry, with the 4-3-3, we can have someone, if we can find a libero who can step up into the midfield, that could be a really interesting formation to use. That was woeful. I'm not happy with the defenders. I'm not happy with the playmakers, and I'm not happy with Daniel Pitchford. We need to do better. And the only thing I can think to do is change the formation again, because we've looked better, but they got that early chance and they've shut up shop. Satano comes straight off. That's non-debatable. George Armstrong, I kind of want to take down. You know what? George Armstrong goes to defence. I am changing back to this because this seems to nullify them quite a bit. And then we've got the backup of putting the guys out wide. Paniagua is going to... See, this is the problem. We have to then sacrifice someone. But Saka's had yet another poor game. To be honest, I'm kind of a little bit bored of Saka at the moment with how he just kind of disappears in these kind of games. So I'm going to make this change. We're getting Gavi on because Gavi, honestly, in the last game, kind of changed the game a little bit. Marcosa can be the more defensive-minded of the two. We'll keep these 3 doing what they're doing. Shockquist at the moment is having a good game. We'll put Darvic back into his natural position. In fact, we'll swap those 2 rounds, get Darvic over on the right, and then we'll keep everything else as it is. I mean, Harto, we'll change these 2 back to full-backs on support because they're more natural positions. It won't give us as much width as I'd probably like, but we'll have to kind of just deal with that. And I think we'll be fine dealing with that. But I'll make those changes for now, and we'll just go for it. I mean, we stayed with the 4-3-3 against West Ham, and it worked really well. So I've not got really any issues with that formation, but every now and then you are going to come against a team that just know how to nullify you, and weirdly it seems to be Benfica. So let's just see whether we can... I don't like the fact that Koku's just been left. He scored one of the goals against us in the first leg. If Marcotta can do something, he does actually. And now Paniagua has a chance. I mean, is there a future of trying to keep Darvic, Sharquist and Paniagua all in the same 11? I think there is with the pre-season. I think if we're here next season again, I really would like to win the Champions League this season just to move on to something else. Not that I'm not enjoying Arsenal, I am, but we're winning everything. If we can't win the Champions League, it means it's another season of basically winning everything. So I'd rather kind of get rid of that and get that out of the way, because there's no point leaving here, because the aim is to win the Champions League, and if we're with a team that can do that, why would we leave? But if we are for some reason still... There we go, no, it's offside. It's offside. I don't think the flag going up ever gets revoked. I think it's always offside. Sometimes the flag won't go up and it will be given as offside. I'm pretty sure that is always offside. The hands don't go up again. That's usually a giveaway signal. There we go. So yeah, trying to work out how to get all of them into the team. The only way I can think to do it is it's either this formation and we don't have Bukayo Saka, or it's any other formation and Darvic plays on the wing, because Saka, not like 80 to 85% of the time, is fantastic, but then just has a run where he just seems to be a bit anonymous. But then he'll have like a random couple of games where he's an absolute world beater, but he seems to just time things really badly. We could really do with him in the Champions League. Joel Harto, by the way, our left back's just gone and scored and put us back in the game in the second leg, and he's put us ahead in the tie. So what happens here? Paniagua, Tokic, Darvic chips it over to Tokic. It's a lovely pass, and it's fullback to fullback, isn't it? And he kind of runs back to get himself on the side and then just curls it in. And that's 1-1 on the night. Why Benfica being such a difficult team? They've got a decent squad. It's not spectacular. We've dominated them as well. It's just we've been just a little bit caught off guard with them in both games. And we've just had to kind of play a little bit of catch-up in both of them. Daniel Pitchford is coming off. He's very tired, to be fair. I'm not going to have a go at him on this one. I'm going to bring on Martinelli. Doesn't really play a striker for us that often. I'm going to take Darvic off as well. Not a great game for him. Iglesias can come on, and then we'll save that final change. But that will do for the time being. Yeah, it's weird because we are playing so well, but then there are kind of outliers in the worst sense. If you're wondering why I'm messing with my nose, by the way, I can feel the sneeze coming, and I'm determined not to sneeze. Yeah, I'm going to crank it up to attack as well. Let's try and actually get a win in this game. A draw's fine. We did enough in the first leg. It's a bit tighter than I'd like it to be, but it's fine. Right, Luak Carwall's not really had the best of games, so I'm going to bring on... Do you know what? Harto's going to go back to defence, and I'm going to bring on Rigeri, who hasn't actually played for a while, so let's get him some football, because he's been playing with the under-21s. He's got his fitness up. Let's get him on the pitch. I lost my point of what I was going to say then, to be honest with you. I was in a flow and it's disappeared completely. Yeah, the crux of it is, you know, I've mentioned this in the save. This season needs to be winning the Champions League. After getting to the final last season, by the way, Leverkusen, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last part, but Leverkusen have been knocked out of the playoffs. They're not in the Champions League anymore, so the champions are out at the first knockout hurdle, and it wasn't even the knockouts proper. Gavi, by the way, trying to do it all himself, just was a warrior when he came on in the second leg. We've looked a better team going to the 4-2-3-1 narrow, and even in the first leg when we went to the wide 4-2-3-1, that looked even better. Now, I'm not going to do what Stu can be accused of doing, which is just making a snap decision and just jumping to a new tactic without even thinking about it. I'm not going to do that, tempting as it may very well be, and trust me, it is. But I am going to keep that in my back pocket, because that tactic definitely was better against Benfica than the 4-3-3. So we need to have a think about that. Maybe it's just one of those teams that just matches up against you. In fact, actually, no, let's look at this. I was going to skip this, but let's look at this and see what we're looking at. So, obviously, this is not every team has been played their second leg yet. We've got a few, though. So, obviously, there's us, 4-3. It's much tighter than I'd like it to be, but if we're going to do it the hard way, we're going to do it the hard way. Real Madrid have won against Dortmund 3-1 in their tie. Barcelona out. Valencia beating them 2-1, knocking them out. Man United scraping through on penalties. So Paris Saint-Germain at the moment winning 3-0. Newcastle winning 2-0. Wolves winning 2-1. Porto winning 1-1. And that's against Roma, Leipzig, Bayern and Juventus respectively. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think we've had any draws for the next round. No, we haven't. So it's a complete mystery as to who we get drawn against. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on forward. I'm going to play some more football. We've got Newcastle in the FA Cup next. We've got Villa after that. We've got Newcastle again after that. And then this is where we're going to be coming back in this area. I'm going to come back for the first leg. I'm not going to play it on camera, but I'm going to come back for it so you guys know what it is. And then we'll be back in the second leg to see exactly what happens kind of actually on camera. And yeah, well, hopefully we get another decent team who actually turn out to be not as much of a challenge, because that was much harder than it should have been. Do you know what? While it's here, should we do the Champions League draw? Yeah, that was a bit of fun. Let's do that. Normally I just skip these and see who we've got, but let's do a draw for a change. It is the quarter-final. I haven't really had a look at the teams that won the other games. I was going to just plough through as best as I could to get to the next game, but let's see. Let's have a look and start the draw. So Ruud van Nistelrooy, the ceremony host here. So these are the 8 teams. It's us, Juventus, United, Newcastle, Wolves, Valencia, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. Notable absentees: there's no Barcelona, there's no Bayern Munich, and there is no Bayer Leverkusen, who might seem the odd one out, but remember they beat us in the final last year. So there's some big teams there. PSG, Real Madrid, probably Man United, maybe even Wolves. They're the ones we want to avoid. I think we can take Newcastle, although, as you'll see soon, we did struggle against them in the FA Cup. I think we can take Valencia, but they did beat, I think it was Barcelona they beat. And we know we can take Juventus because we did in the group, the group stage, the league phase. We know that we can take them. So let's see. Paris Saint-Germain is the first team to be drawn, and they are drawn against Newcastle. Okay. Kind of glad we've avoided both of those, to be honest with you. I'd have taken Newcastle. I'd have liked to avoid PSG. Right, next one. Real Madrid. They guess. I had a feeling. I just had a feeling. We're doing this the hard way. Real Madrid are our team. Let's just round out the draw. It's Wolves versus Juventus. I said I like that one. And Valencia have got the final team, Manchester United. I think we've got the most difficult game in that. I genuinely do. I think we've got the most difficult tie. Other than maybe Newcastle. I think they're the most two difficult ones. Wolves are no slouches, don't get me wrong. I think they'll go through against Juventus. I don't think there'll be much of an issue with that. Valencia, Man United. It should be Man United, but Valencia, again, they obviously did knock out Barcelona, and they're back in Europe as well, so they're obviously doing something right. Paris Saint-Germain should easily beat Newcastle, but Newcastle are a decent team. It's all open, but that is a hideous tie to have. Now, from the looks of things, we're going to be starting away from home. We are indeed, so we do have the home leg to play for, basically, so that'll be the next game in this video, so bear with me. I'll play through the final couple of games that I've got to play through, and we'll get to there. Just to confirm, we did really struggle against Newcastle. A 1-1 draw, Noah Darvic scoring, again playing on the wing though, so good to see that he actually had a decent game there. The Villa game was a bit of a weird one. We were on top, not really being threatened by Villa at any point with their attacking, so I went a bit crazy with the tactics and just had to mess around with it a little bit. Also, I was a little bit bored in the game. I was a little bit like, nothing's really happening, so let's just see what we can do to shake things up. Nothing really stuck, if I'm being completely honest with you. Nothing really kind of told me anything about my team that I didn't already know. I actually experimented with having Laskowski and Harto as inverted fullbacks, and then having Armstrong as a libero on defence, joining the midfield. I don't necessarily know whether it helped anything, to be honest with you. If anything, it robbed us for a bit of width, so it was worth giving it a go. I'm not doing it again. So, right, bear with me. I'm going to play the Newcastle game, get rid of this gap in the middle, play the Wolves game. Play the Real Madrid game. I'm not going to come back for that one because we know who we're playing now. Then I'll play Man United in the league, and then I'll come back for Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final, second leg, and then we'll see how things kind of land from there. Pray for me. Okay, a couple of things to go over very quickly before we get into the rest of the episode. You'll notice that this probably looks a bit different. I had a couple of new bits of kind of stuff on my computer. A new keyboard, new mouse. I say new for me. Second hand, on a budget. So I had to put those in. So I unplugged everything. And that meant that all my camera settings got lost. So I've had to redo those. And actually, I've managed to get the camera to zoom out a little bit more, which I didn't realise I could do. So I actually prefer this. I don't like the fact you can see the dirty curtain here. I say dirty. It's not actually that dirty. It just looks a bit of a mess. But I like the fact that you can see more of the room. I might change it. I don't know. But yes, so apologies for the fact that there was that kind of bit of a delay. Also, I just realised that needs to move over there. You can't see what I've just done. That's absolutely fine. So, yeah. To the matter at hand, obviously it's another day as well, you can tell, because I'm wearing different attire. The first leg, Real Madrid, at their place, was a slog. No other word for it. It was a slog. It was rearguard action. Our defence did a wonderful job for the most part. We really struggled against them. They are a very, very good team. But as you can see, we had a chance to win the game. We did not take it. It was and ended up being a 0-0. A draw away from home is fun. The fact we had a penalty, though, really, really annoys me. Tactically, I've been a bit wobbly over the last couple of games. I've been trying to work out ways to get us to win because it's felt like a bit of a struggle here and there. So, yeah, trying to work that out has been a bit of a struggle. You can see we went back to the old favourite from Wolves. It didn't really work in this one, I've got to be honest with you. The issues really started kind of going back to the Benfica second leg where we drew 1-1. Since then, it has been a bit of a slog. I mean, we had the draw against Newcastle. We won the quarter-final, got through to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Just about beat Villa. Laboured to a draw against Newcastle. The Wolves game was for the title. We could have won the title with this, but we didn't. And, yeah. And if you look at the scores there, at one point we were 3-1 down. Daniel Pitchford ended up having to save us, which was great that he did. A couple of goals for him in the Premier League, but that was a real slog. 94th minute equaliser. Then we draw against Real Madrid, and then we had the win against Manchester United. With that one, we fluctuated through formations, including I did try a diamond at one point. If you watched my Deportivo save, you know that in that I turned an attacking midfielder or central midfielder in Joe Veloso into a striker. I'm debating doing that with Bukayo Saka. It sounds mad, I know, because he's a great winger, but he's been trash for us in the last few games. He really has been. I mean, the last time he gets a goal is here against Brighton, and since then, I don't think he's got a goal involvement in terms of goals or assists. It's been really bad. But then, in that game against Man United, we beat them 3-0. So, you know, it is swings and roundabouts. So we go into today's game not really knowing which version of our team we're going to be coming up against. We're going to be having to go against Real Madrid. I'm getting all the words wrong. Real Madrid, by the way, top of La Liga. So they are absolutely going to be a difficult proposition. But we will do what we can. Now, it's going into the game. Catanano's had a recent knock, but he is fit enough to start. We have got an injury to Paniagua. I can't remember. It's been a few days since I've recorded the first part of the video. I can't remember whether you all know that or not, but he is out of the game. But that is going to be the 11 that we're going to be using for the game against Real Madrid at home at the Emirates. It is going to be Owusu Oduro in goal. It's going to be Tokic, Sotalo, Harto and Catanano in defence. Armstrong is going to be the holding midfielder with Shokrist and Darvic in the attacking midfield roles or the more attacking-minded midfield roles. Saka starts, despite the fact that he's on a 6.76 on an average rating of the last 5 games. You can see the ratings are not pretty good other than some players as well for the last 5 games. But he is going to be alongside Martinelli on the other side purely because Methistel has been worse than Martinelli. So it's not really a great option. What I wanted to do is put Saka on the left and actually start. Where is he? Iglesias, because he had a really good game last time out. But I don't really want to play Saka out of position because that will make it even worse. But starting is going to be Daniel Pitchford, who's 1 goal away from 30 goals for the season. I don't have much to fault him with this season other than his league goal scoring has not been very good. But just to confirm what I said about Saka, you can see the last good game he had was against Brighton. Since then, highest ratings have been 6.9, and one of those was as a deep line forward in the Diamonds. He's not played well at all, so we need to find a way to get this form back. I mean, he had a rough couple of games there, but you can see that he kind of played a bit here, there, and everywhere in this little period. But yeah, we need the Saka of old. The Saka who's got that for the first half of the season has got like the most goals for the club. Like 22 goals in the league. We need to get that back somehow, and I don't quite know how we do it. But he could start today against Real Madrid. That's the 11. I'm going to stick with the normal tactics. We're going to go attacking. If we don't think it's working, we've got the old favourite. If we don't think that's working, I have got that. And also, I have got the idea of this diamond in my head, which I don't know. It might be a ridiculous idea. The reason why I'm thinking about the diamond is, and I think I mentioned this before, it's getting Shokris, Darvic, and when he's not injured, Paniagua into the same team. That's going to be the struggle. I can do it as we are at the moment, but it either involves Darvic going out of position or dropping Saka. So that's why I'm thinking maybe Saka, we turn him into a striker. His finishing's not bad. He's got decent attributes for it, but he's 31 years old. Is it really a wise thing to do? Do we change it to an attacking midfielder? That doesn't really help. Well, it does if we go for the old Wolves formation. I need to have a think about that. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. We are starting Tokic at right back. The other option is Laskowski, who I think has promised to be a defensive right back, but he's not been particularly fantastic so far. So we'll probably just stick with Old Faithful, with Tokic, even though he's not 100% fit. But here we go. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. just a little bit nervous. But we know we've got a good team. We know we've assembled some fantastic players. What will be, will be. I wouldn't be too upset if we end up with another season here at Arsenal, but I do feel like it's as good a chance as any to win the Champions League, so we really need to be taking advantage of it. So let's see whether we can do that. Let's get into it, shall we? Right, we're at home. Let's give home advantage as much of a kind of grasp as we can, and let's try and push them. And of course, straight away, they're having the best attacking. Although the first highlight is us with the ball. Right, Catalano into Martinelli. Martinelli goes past his man. Martinelli into Noah Darvic, and it's against his former club. Noah Darvic makes it 1-0 inside the 7th minute. Delighted. And the fact that we've got that goal in the 4-3-3, which has laboured again since that kind of, after that, was it the Brighton game? It's almost as if when Saka started playing bad, that's when the drop-offs happened. But then the last game again, we had to fiddle around tactically. Maybe that was a bit of an outlier, but that's a great start. Martinelli gets an assist as well. Great start to the game, but Real Madrid are lurking. They have a free kick here. They're looking for, that's poor from Owusu Aduro. And Francialucci, who I think I've looked at some point as a signing, has made it 1-1 very early on. It's the 15th minute. It's already 1-1. And it's a silly free kick, and that's so poor from Owusu Aduro. I'm actually going to have a word with him on that. I'm going to tell him I'm going to encourage him. He can recover from that. Right, Saka whipping it in. He's looking for Martinelli. Heads it back. Looking for Pitchford. Puts it just wide. We're getting the opportunities, though. And that is the most important thing. If we stopped getting the opportunities, that's where I'd start to worry. We're having more of the ball, but Real Madrid have done a fair bit with it. It's another silly free kick. Right, De Ligt is there. Owusu Aduro does well to get it this time. Doesn't come out for it. Good decision from him. Mansverk, good tackle from Armstrong. Really good tackle from Armstrong there. We're going to get a long throw, a short throw, or a highlight for a throw. Nothing of the sort. Real Madrid are definitely having a bit more to say with things at the moment. I'm just tempted to tweak the tactics a little bit. Maybe we up the tempo, because at the moment we're having possession but not doing much with it. So let's up the tempo and let's just see if we can get a bit more going and see if we can have things going. I mean, if that's actually accurate, that it looks like it's worked straight away, which is fantastic. We're actually having more possession now, and we've starting to have a couple more chances, which is good to see. I think we're going to go in at half time 1-1. We have upped our chances though, and it is looking a bit more healthy for us. And we've got a final highlight at the end of the first half. Darvic, he's gone for the shot. He's forced to save out of Trubin, and it is going to be a corner. We are actually over time here, so it's going to be a question of whether we can get this corner in. Darvic to take. Could be a bit of controversy here if we put it in the back of the net. And Satalo, so unlucky. It is going to be another corner. Do we have the time to take it? Saka's apparently suffered a broken finger. He's on a 6.5. This is what I'm talking about with Saka. It's whipped in. Saka's there. Saka. Oh, if Trubin had made a mistake, that would have been glorious. It is 1-1 at half time. We've ended the half on a high after starting really kind of laboriously. It's another ball performance from Saka. Yes, he's got a broken finger, apparently. I mean, there's nothing up on here to suggest that, but I've been told he does have one, so it is what it is. Do we stick or do we twist? I mean, what we're doing at the moment is fine, but obviously Saka's not having a good game. Neither is Daniel Pitchford. Saka, I think, we're going to have to take off. And it's Raul Iglesias. It has to be, because he's been one of the surprises of the season in the best way. I'm also looking at George Armstrong. We've got Mark Otter and Gavi. I'm thinking Gavi, just for experience. He's been here before. But Mark Otter is better defensively. But he's also got an aggressive thing, so he could go and get himself sent off. I'm going to do Gavi. I think that makes the most sense to do. And he'll just hopefully help us control the ball a little bit better in the middle. I'm going to leave Daniel Pitchford because he can just sometimes pull something out of nothing. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. Let's say for the room, pump the fists, everyone dig in, and let's just go around a couple of them. Right, Armstrong's come off, so that's not something we need to worry about. Right, Pitchford, I'm just going to say to him that you've got the ability to do it. You two, let's just say, keep going. We'll say that one, try and motivate him. That looks like it's worked. Backline, we'll say, keep going. And Shockquist, I'm going to say that one, and that's motivated him. The Satalo, I tell you what, we'll say that one for him as well. That's everyone spoken to there. The substitutions, we'll just quickly say, need you to change the game for us. Right, second half. Fire the boys up. Come on, boys. Let's go and get another goal. Let's go and get a winner. And let's get through to the semi-final of the Champions League. Looks like we have started the second half well. Real Madrid are having still chances as well. I'm going to demand more. 15 minutes into the half. Let's demand a bit more from the boys. Glazes hasn't had a good start. We have got a good... conceded a corner. Couldn't get my words out here. Rodrigo. He's got a couple of our boys around him. He's had to go all the way back to Jimenez, the second half substitute for Real Madrid. Looking to come forward here. Nice if we tackled him. Maybe not too harshly. Oh my word. We've just let him run through us. What are we doing there? What are we actually doing there? That is pathetic. All that hard work. And we've just let their right back run through us. And now we've got a lot of work to do. The midfield's not showing up for us at all today. Right. We're going to have to do something tactically here. Right, Martinelli's playing well. Pitchford is not. Make sure we pause the game. We've got 15 minutes in the game, or just around that, to try and salvage this. Do we go to that? Or maybe we put Martinelli up front? I don't know. We need to change something, though, because we're not getting through them enough and having enough worthwhile chances. Iglesias has had such a poor game since coming on, by the way. I've built him up as being this kind of saviour, and he's been shocking for us. He's been absolutely shocking. Right, I tell you what. No, we're going to go 4-3-3 wide. Keep Iglesias out here for now. I mean, it's not working, though, is it? I don't know. Darwich can go out wide. Martinelli can... I tell you what. No, we're going to go 4-4-2. Or 4-2-4, I should say. We'll have you... Because you can do the Regista. We know you can from our time at Wolves. We'll keep you on that as well. Darwich can be inside, inverted winger rather. And we'll have you do that. I've been thinking about doing this as well, to be fair. Probably not the time to really be making stuff up. I'm actually going to bring Methis Tell on because I think he's quite motivated, but I'm also going to bring on Villalba. We'll make a double change up front. And I don't want to play through the middle. I want to focus to play down the wings. Let's focus it down the left because we know how good Catalano can be in an attacking sense. These two can kind of get forward. I mean, we're going to just be pressing them, stepping up more as well. all of their stuff has really... Well, their second goal didn't come from set piece, actually, but their first goal did. It came from a mistake from ourselves. So, let's get stuck in on them as well. And we're going to distribute it out. So, we'll keep it going to the centre-backs, and then they can get it out to the flanks as best as they can. And then we just want to try and just surprise Real Madrid with that a little bit. Keeper's had a shocking game. Iglesias is having a shocking game. I'm hoping that we can kind of recover from that a little bit. But we'll go with that for now. I'm going to change it to attacking as well. But we need to do something here. Right, we're on attacking. I'm going to berate the boys and just see if that will shock them into life a little bit. It's turned around completely, like the stats. We need another highlight, and we need it now. We're running out of time here. I've just realised I took off Martinelli for no reason. Why did I take off Martinelli? He assisted one of our goals. Why did I take him off? The whole point... Well, yeah, I've ballsed up there. I should have taken Iglesias off. He's on a 6.2. I really should have taken him off. Right, pass forward from Iglesias actually to Villalba. We're on an attack here. Right. He tries to cross it. Bullies the ball off of Matthijs de Ligt, and it's 2-2. And we may have just saved this quarter-final. We may have just saved a chance at the semi-final. Oh, we're doing it the hard way this year. Villalba, I tell you what a run this is. It's a poor pass from him. But de Ligt just gets bullied off the ball. And Matthijs, who's needed something like that to come his way, puts it in the back of the net. Matthijs, I keep getting his name wrong. And all of a sudden, we have just bullied our way into extra time. We've got 2 substitutions left as well. Right. Okay, let me just have a quick look at the opposition and just see what they've done. They've made all of their changes. Right, we want to press you. We want to go in hard on all of you. Cortus, come on. Let's pop him on his weak side. Right foot and going hard as well. And then Keith May. Who's Keith May? A US international. Okay, fair play. Right foot hard tackle, I think. And Nico Gonzalez has come on. I'm familiar with him from the Deportivo save. We had him for, I think, a season, and he was wonderful for us. I'm just wondering, do we press him to try and win the ball? I think maybe we leave him for the time being. Okay, and then let's go back to our team. Now, Shockwist does not really look right the entire game. I don't have another playmaking player who can come play as a regista. What I think I desperately need to do, I want to take off Iglesias. But the problem is, I've got 2 substitutions left. I don't really want to waste one of them on him when our defence is getting tired. I'm thinking Levo Colwill, just for a bit of freshness, on for Joel Harto, or even for Catanano. I don't know. Because I'm thinking keep Harto on because he's having a better game. Do you know what? I've talked myself into that. We'll do that. And I'm tempted to put him on attack. I'm going to leave him on wing back on support, actually. Talk myself out of that one. But Colwell will come on. That's one change. And then for the final one, I'm just thinking Michael Shockwist, unless we can kind of talk him into a good game. I tell you what, let's change him back to his more familiar position. We'll have a bit of a word with him and see if we can relax him a little bit. And I'm just thinking Iglesias, I'm just not confident with him. But because, see, this is where I've made the real error. Because I took Martinelli off accidentally, I don't know why I took him off. I could bring on Yavuz. I mean, do we go 4-3-3 and go narrow again? Do I leave it for the moment? What I was just thinking was if we went 3 strikers, but this has obviously works in the end of that half, so I don't really want to do anything. I might save that substitution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've made 5. I might save that one substitution. Right. Say that one. Right, let's go around. We want to have a word with Conrado. Just calm him down. We'll have a word with Levi as well. We're going to have a word with Shockwist. Say that one. gaining confidence, which is good. So that for those two. I'm going to just say that one, just try and motivate him out of his funk. And Darvic, say that one as well, try and get a bit more out of him. Gavi and Tell have changed the game since coming on. But we'll tell them to keep going. Tell Iglesias, get it together as well. And I think that's everyone. Everyone apart from Sotalo, who's had an average game. We'll say that to him. I do worry about Sotalo as we've gone hard tackling. So I tell you what, this video is going to be so long. We'll change him so he doesn't go in hard tackling or ease off tackles. Feels like the wise thing to do. Right, we've got a fresh pair of legs there. The midfield's still relatively fresh with Gavi in there. I've still got a change I can make. Marcotta could come on as a defensive option if we feel like we need to. And we've got fresh legs up front. Now or never. Let's go for it. Let's just go for it. I'm going to fire the boys up. Let's just... Oh, the door's opened. Close that. There we go. Let's just see. We might be going on to penalties here. And if we do, we do. Right. Here come Real Madrid. We win the ball back. Gavi flicks it on to Villalba. Heavy touch from Villalba. But Gavi manages to win it back coming forward here. Gavi now going out wide. Not really his natural position, but I can understand it. Harto into Darvic. Darvic into Mathis Tell. And Mathis Tell, unless it's disallowed for offside, may have just won us the game and got us through to the semi-final of the Champions League. Back-to-back-to-back years with two different clubs. It's been allowed. It's 3-2. We lead against Real Madrid. I feel like I can breathe again. We lead for the first time since the 7th minute. And Mathis Tell, what an important substitution he's been. It's like he's been waiting for the right moment to come back into form, and he's chosen this moment, which is fantastic. And I'm saving this. This is a great formation. I mean, it's not revolutionary. Everyone knows a 4-2-4. I've never really used one, but I tell you what, it's worked. Right, Iglesias is dead to me. He's coming off. The only person I can bring on is Kadioglu. He's not even really for that position. Unless I move Tell there. But if I move Tell there, then who do I put up front? Because I don't have another striker. Oh, I have Yavuz. Yeah, no, we'll bring Yavuz on. Yavuz can come on. Deep line forward. Tell you what, we'll leave him there. And they'll just have to work it out. They'll just have to work it out. Right. Another forward-minded player as well. Iglesias has just been shockingly poor since coming on. I can't change you to ease off tackle, so I'm just going to tell you to calm down. Corner, Villalba was there. Kohut flicks it onto no one. I'm imagining this is going to be an end of a highlight in a moment. Right, Colwill. Loses the ball. Levi Colwill. We need to get the ball. We got it back, but May's through. It could be an equaliser here. Owusu Aduro. That is a big boy save. At this point in the match, with how he started the match, to pull off that save, that's a big boy save, that is. Oh, my word. Right. Final couple of minutes. I'm not even taking any chances. We're lowering the tempo down. We're doing all the time wasting. We're being disciplined. I'm going to shift this to the right just to confuse them a little bit. We're just going to hold on to the ball. I'm going to go down to positive. These guys are going to come back to here. Even if they can't play there, they're going to do it. Pop both of them on support. Fall back on support, fall back on support. You can go on support as well. I want you to drop deeper. In fact, actually, you can go back to being an attacking midfielder for once. This is literally for like 1 minute of added time, but I don't want to take any chances. And you know what? You two go defensive. No chances. No chances at all. Final minute. Final 2 minutes. We've got a corner, actually. Whipped in. Colwill there. Doesn't get it. Jimenez, who scored their seconds. Running forward here. Has to go back. He's not a very creative player. We just were very sloppy when we let him through. Right. Can we tackle him, please, boys? Don't let May get the header. Also, Aduro again. Just, he didn't save it that time. But he covered it nicely. That's got to be time. We do it the hard way. Oh my... I did not think for a moment... I did not think we were going to do that. Wow, and Mathis Tell, I tell you what a game to come back into some form. Yeah, we got what we deserved. There's a couple of poor performances out there. Owusu Aduro played himself to a 6.7 after that poor start. He might as well have got a 9. Because those were some important moments at the end of the game. Right, that is that for the quarterfinal. Sorry, there's a fly in my room. Where did you come from? Now, let's look forward, because the next video is going to be all about the semi-final. It's Paris Saint-Germain. When did we last play Paris Saint-Germain? Because I feel like we played them not too long ago. Was it this season? It might not have been this season. Was it last season? I think it was. It was last season. They were the semi-finalists and we beat them over both legs. So we know we're good enough to beat them. We just need to do it again. Yeah. No problem. How hard can it be? Thank you for watching. That was a bit more dramatic than we thought. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.